Hello.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Take Two Radio. I'm Pam, your host, and joining me today as co-host is my good buddy, Sabina. Hello, Sabina.
Hi, Pam.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. Well, today we're so very excited to have with us an amazing actress and singer, and I think she's a little starstruck herself. We have with us today Miss Renée Lawless. Welcome, Renee.
Hi, how are you? Yes, I'm in the middle of a celebrity walkway that's absolutely blowing my mind at this moment, so yes.
Yeah, I heard you say to Sabina, and I didn't get a chance to chime in, that Penny Marshall had just walked past you.
Yes, and I had just seen Ed Asner and Mickey Rooney earlier, and a bunch of other people that I can't really name, and it's just been, I'm trying to actually walk down to a quieter part of this room so that you can hear me and so that I just don't start screaming every 5 minutes when I see somebody. So this interview can be all about me. I mean, it was, in order to make the interview in time, I just edibly walked out and said, okay, we're going to do this interview really fast. Oh, I'm in a quieter room right now, so I think this will work.
Oh, my gosh. I mean, and it's so funny because, you know, you have so many fans, and they look at you as a huge star, yet there you are, you know, looking at the other stars that you're impressed by and a fan of.
Right. And I had a large function to go to for Mr. Perry and OWN Network on Thursday, and there was a lot of people that I admire that were walking up to me, and I couldn't even phonate. So,
aw, that's awesome.
Thank you.
That is so wonderful. I would love to be in your shoes, at least for 15 minutes.
Well, let me tell you, I wish I would, if this is the only 15 minutes I ever get, it's been the great 15 minutes, let me tell you.
Right? Well, I hope you get to talk to some of them when we're done and maybe take a picture or two. That would be nice to see.
Right. And I got some of those. They're going to be tweeting and stuff, but it's nice. I wanted to give you guys your due. I know we've been trying to get this together for a while, so I'm glad to speak with you guys.
Yes, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. I was going to start out with a little test for you, but I'm not sure if that your head is going to remember it right now because of what you're going through.
No, go ahead and give me the test.
But
yes, no problem.
I'll try it. Okay. I was going to just give you a sentence. 40 states and around the world, lived in 5 cities. What is that from?
40? Say it one more time.
40 states, and you've been around the world, lived in 5 cities. What is that from? What show?
Okay, give me a second. Gotta be Wicked. Or no, I don't know. I totally bombed this question. I feel horrible.
You've done a lot of things, but I was watching a video on your website called Renee's Way or the Highway.
Renee's Way or the Highway. That's exactly what it's from. You're exactly. I'm like, how do I know that sentence? And I don't know that's for me. But it's okay. I'm an idiot. What are you going to do?
No, you're
not.
Okay.
It's like,
you got
you're
a lot
right.
going
Exactly.
around.
My hair isn't that clear right now. Absolutely. My hair isn't that clear right now. So I would think I would know the subtitle of my own blog, but that's okay. It's okay.
Now, was that
awesome,
from a TV show that you did or just a blog that you made?
No, it's a blog that it's kind of been on hold. It's something I was trying to start over a year ago. I was getting ready to start actually about a year and a half ago, and then I was leaving Wicked, and I was getting ready to, and then I got this show, and it just all got put on hold. But it was going to be a video blog about life on the road and just various things that annoy me or good things from crafts to cooking to how to travel, how to decorate, or just how women who over a size 10 should never wear white pants, things like that.
I love that idea. I love the
first
video, so hopefully, yeah.
So, that was my little, maybe it's kind of been put on hold, and I'd like to get back into it again because I think once it takes off, it would be really effective. But it's just every time I sit down to try to do it, then something else comes up and gets in the way,
Right. Well, that's a good problem to have if you think about it.
Oh, yes. We always, trust me, I that is not a complaint. It is simply a statement and an observation.
Right.
It is not a complaint, I assure you.
Well, since you've been around the world, do you have a favorite place that you'd like to get back to?
Well, I haven't been, that's kind of, I've been to Europe. And but there are a lot of places that I have not been to that I would like to go to. Ireland, Australia, and Italy. There are some wonderful countries that I would really love to visit that I haven't done yet. And I've only been really 3/4 around the world because I've been to Hawaii and I've been to Europe, but I haven't been as far over as Africa and Australia. So I figure I've done 3/4 of the world, so that's kind of a play on words.
Yeah. Well, you've done probably at least halfway around the world more than I have, so kudos to you that you get to go do something like that because that's like one of my dream things to do. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And I hope you share your next journey with us, when you get a chance to do it on video.
Absolutely. I was in Europe when I was in high school, and although I felt it was wonderful to go to Germany and Austria, I don't think I fully appreciated it like I would today. And so I'm looking forward to actually experiencing it as an adult instead of a young adult, as a full-grown adult.
Yeah. I completely understand that because I wouldn't have even thought of it when I was younger. But now that I'm older, you learn to appreciate those things. And I love watching the travel channels and seeing all the places that they go to and the things that they do and even some of the weird foods that they eat.
Right, and for a long time, the reason how the whole blog started, I wanted to be, do some hosting work, and I would love to have gotten a travel show. So that's how it, because I was on the road and I was traveling, and I thought I had some great tips, and then it just kept evolving into other things. But then the have and have nots came into play, and my other career took off, and I just kind of put on the back burner,
Yeah. Well, you'll get to it eventually. I'm sure of that.
Absolutely.
Now, you started out in theater. Is that correct?
Yes, I did. Actually, I started out in singing. I was always doing theater in elementary school and high school and college, but I started out as a vocal performance major, and I went to graduate school to get a master's in voice. I was mainly doing opera. I thought I was going to be an opera singer, but I was always doing a bunch of theater on the side, and that's where my heart naturally, that's where my heart really was. But I always had visions of doing television and film. But when I was younger, I didn't know you could actually, when I was growing up, we didn't have reality television, and I didn't think you could do this as a job. I thought it was like a fantasy land. And as I got older, I started realizing, I thought, wow, people get paid to do this. And it's actually where my heart led, and I really wanted to, I looked up to so many wonderful actors. And as by the time I got to graduate school, I realized that opera was not going to be my path. It was going to be more theater, and ultimately went to New York and did a lot of regional work nationally, as well as then went to Broadway with Beauty and the Beast, as well as the tour. and did other shows, and then I got Wicked, that first national tour, still pursuing and doing independent films here and there and still pursuing a television industry, but I was on the road so much that it was hard for me to be stationary to actually go after it. So when the opportunity presented itself, I was getting ready to leave Wicked, and I saw an audition online, and I submitted myself and didn't even tell my managers. Never thought in a million years I'd get the audition, and the rest is history, and now I have the job. So,
yay!
Yeah. Yay! That's wonderful. Well, you brought up Wicked and Beauty and the Beast, the two national touring productions. I wanted to know what was it like being a part of those productions, and which one you enjoyed the most?
Well, you know, it's kind of like comparing an apple and an orange. I mean, Beauty and the Beast was my first major Broadway production contract, and the tour I thought was just amazing. And there were, I traveled much more. Those sit-downs were like 2 weeks to 3 weeks long at a time, and I learned so much about the industry and myself, and then that led to my Broadway debut. And so Beauty and the Beast will always have a special place in my heart because it was my first Broadway show. But now, many years, I would say almost not quite 10 years, maybe 8 years passed or 6 years passed before I got Wicked. And I grew as a performer, I grew as a person, and I was at a different place in my life, and I learned to really appreciate it more. In Wicked, we sat down for a minimum of 4 weeks or more. So I really got to enjoy all the various cities we were in during that production. And it became just something that I really thought, I'm going to really look back on this, and I'm going to take it all in, and I'm going to enjoy my life. And Wicked afforded me many opportunities as well as meeting many people. I'm sorry, my phone was ringing. I was going to fix that. And many contacts. And so Wicked will have a special place in my heart. Like I said, it's like an apple and an orange. They both have special, places in my heart for different reasons. I will say Wicked's success, when people find out I'm in Heaven Have Nots and but then when they find out about Wicked, they go crazy. So it's like, I don't know what they like more, the TV show or the Broadway show.
Well, they're both so different. You can love them both as much as one from the other. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. And I was a very young person in the first one, and I was a little bit older person in the second one. And so, age has its benefits, wisdom, knowledge, things like that.
Right, exactly. Now, with being in theater for quite a while, and I know theater can be so demanding on the actors, because you have to do so many shows per week, what do you do to keep your stamina up and keep it fresh for yourself?
You mean doing 8 shows a week? Is that what you're saying? Yes.
You're right.
Well,
yes.
People ask me this a lot, and I have to say it's kind of what we went to school for. It's kind of what you're trained for. I mean, when I was studying voice, I learned how to take care of my voice. I learned how to, do vocal exercises. And keeping 8 shows a week is, how to pace yourself. You're not going to blow it all out on the Tuesday night. You're not going to make it to your Sunday night performance. But by the same token, your energy level is still there, and you find something new. Now, being on the road is much easier because every month you're on a different stage, you're on a different dressing room, you're in a different city. So, like, every month is like a different opening night, and you're meeting a whole different crew. So, but keeping it fresh, like I said, it's kind of what we learned to do. You realize that if you've got, on a Friday night, you don't go out and party all night because you've got 4 more shows to get through in 2 days. So you have to know your limitations. You can't just go out and, live like a crazy person. You got to get your rest. You have to, join a gym or take yoga or do something just to keep your body in shape because you can't afford to get sick. So it's all those things. And finding and keeping it fresh is just, it's live theater. It's not circumstances will always change just because it's live.
Right.
So that's what keeps it fresh.
Yeah, that makes sense. So now let's get into the haves and have-nots. Can you briefly tell us how you got the wonderful part of Mrs. Katheryn Cryer?
Well, I touched on it a little bit earlier. I was getting ready to give my notice with Wicked, and there was an actors database that sends me emails about various auditions or projects that match my profile. And I clicked and saw the role description, and I went, that's me. That's who I am. But I didn't know it was for Tyler Perry. So when I clicked on it and saw that, I went, oh, my goodness, I'm never going to get this audition. But I thought, what the heck? I didn't even tell my managers. I submitted myself, my headshot and resume online, never thinking in a million years I would get the audition. And what happened, I not only 2 weeks later they called me for an audition, 2 months later they flew me to Los Angeles for a callback, and 2 weeks later they offered me the role. It happened that quick, and 2.5 weeks after that I started shooting. I mean, it really went that fast.
Wow.
And it was and still is a magical moment. I hate to use the cliche dream come true because I don't know. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd always dreamed of being in television and film, but I don't think I could have dreamed the circumstances which this all happened.
Yeah, that's amazing. I mean, because the show is so well loved. I mean, when I'm on Twitter, and Sabina can verify this too, that when we're on Twitter and this show is on, that's all you see is tweets about it and how much everybody absolutely loves it and are so involved with it.
I know, it is crazy. I mean, the good Lord reached down and blessed me with this, and I give him all the credit for it. He was just, I don't think we ever, I mean, we hoped for to have this kind of response, but I don't think we ever could have dreamed this kind of response.
Mm-hmm. Right. Well, I have to say that anything Tyler Perry puts out is, I'm sorry?
I'm sorry, I said we have great Twitter followers.
Oh, yes. And I was just saying anything that Tyler Perry puts out, everybody loves, no matter what it is, you know, whether it's one of his plays or a movie or a show like this. So how could it not be successful? I mean, the man is a genius.
Yes, he is. He's the hardest working man in show business, I think. I mean, I really don't know when the man sleeps, but he takes care of us. He's very good to us. But when we're on set, you know, it's business. So, and then also to work for the wonderful Oprah Winfrey for OWN Network. I mean, who could have asked to be not only work for Tyler Perry, but also for Oprah at the same time? I mean, really? In the same sentence?
Yeah.
I'm one lucky girl. Let me tell you.
Yeah, you are definitely, and you're very talented. I wanted to ask you, how do you mentally prepare yourself for the multi-layered, complex character of Mrs. Cryer?
Wow. Well, it's, you know, I kind of, there's a lot of things from my past that you can draw on. For instance, I did pageants for 3 years. So how she carries herself, and I kind of type into that a little bit. And I kind of use Jane Wyman from Falcon Crest as my muse, you know, kind of this strong, powerful woman. But Katheryn, I think, embodies a lot of things that Renee wishes she could do all the time. So I get to do everything that I might think, say, or feel inside but would never do in public. Or I would never have friends. But I have a license to do it on television, and I get paid to do it. Uh-huh. And it pretty much, I guess, there's a lot of Renee and Katheryn, and there's a little bit of Katheryn and Renee. But there's, we're definitely two different people, but there is definitely, I don't want to say it's Renee's dark side, because I don't look on Katheryn as a dark person. She's just, you know, I think we all in our lives, well, not everybody, but a lot of people have doubts about their looks or their actions or their things, anything in life. Whereas Katheryn, I don't think doubts anything.
Right.
Katheryn, I think, has very little doubt. I think right now what she's going through, she questions. But she exudes, she knows exactly what she wants and how it's going to take care of every minute of her day. And it's pretty much her wealth has something to do with it in preparing for her. I know when she wakes up every morning, she doesn't think about the millions she has because she's always had it. Uh-huh. She's not new money. She's old money. So there's this air of when she wakes up every morning of confidence that something that we would kind of go, oh, my gosh, I get to go downstairs in this massive kitchen or whatever. It's just, it's all she's ever known. So it's a very good, it's a wonderful pretend role, you know, to just live in this woman's skin. And I'm very blessed to have an outstanding cast. I mean, I've got a great director, but yes, there was just something about this role that was just me. I got her immediately. I knew exactly who she was. And to be able to play opposite, you know, the fabulous Crystal Fox as Hannah Young, and John Schneider and Angela Robinson and Peter Peros. I mean, these are amazing actors who bring their A game, and so I have to bring my A game, and I don't want to bring anything less than my A game. But it's an incredible. So I mean, preparing for her is just. I have to really. Renee's a kind of a crazy, wild, out there kind of person, so I have to rein her in order to play Katheryn.
You definitely do a wonderful job, and I don't know about everybody else, but I can tell that you enjoy it and that you really bring your A game every episode.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
That's for sure.
And we are having a really good time.
Yeah.
We do have a very good time, even though it's not a comedy. We really have a great time.
Yeah. That's very, very important too. Now I noticed the facial expressions of Katheryn, and they're so well done. Is there anything specific that goes through your mind at those moments to help you bring them out so perfectly?
Well, you know, it's funny you asked me that, because I don't know if you watched. Didn't read that much, but this past week, the Tyler Perry show, there was something that John said, and I immediately looked at him with a full-on Katheryn Cryer face. So I think sometimes, you know, the art of acting isn't really acting; it's listening. And sometimes, as long as I'm just, you know, the scene that we did this past week with Maggie Day and Veronica and myself sitting out, that was a very easy scene for us to play. And also the one we were at I think it was a few weeks ago, where we were at a restaurant, the three of us together when we first meet her. Mm-hmm. And even at the end of it, Mr. Perry was laughing his head off. He said, the look ladies were giving her, were killing me. And we were genuinely, because we were listening to her as our characters, so we weren't really trying to do the looks. We were genuinely looking at her like, who the hell do you think you are coming in here trying to tell us how we're going to dress? And, you know, and it was literally, and it was oozing. And there was, I don't know if you saw the take when we first shot it. I don't know which take they used, but at the very end, Veronica and I lift our water glasses to take a drink, and when we first shot it, we didn't plan it. We both said our line, and we picked up our glasses and drank at the same time, and we had no idea we were going to do that. And Mr. Perry just fell out laughing, because it was this totally improv moment that we just both did the exact same thing. And sometimes it's just not acting. It's just what happens because you're in the moment and you're reacting. Right. You're reacting to what's being said. And as long as I'm comfortable with how Katheryn feels, I mean, think about it. If you were worth $50 million in a powerhouse in the city and you ruled the roost and you only shopped at Escada and Neiman Marcus or pick a store, and somebody walked in and tried to tell you how you're going to dress, and that you were A, too flashy, or B, no more expensive suit, and you're looking at her, Walmart off the rack, can you? Yeah. I mean, really? So, I mean, it was that whole thing, and so she and I are looking at her like, oh, I'm not doing any Ross Dress for Less. I don't think so, you know? Yeah. Now, Renee would be like, okay, whatever you say, you know, but Katheryn's not going to say that, you know.
Yeah. Now, when you initially got the part, did you know that John Schneider was going to play your husband?
Well, I had a feeling. Ironically, at the callback, I walked into the room of stars, never thinking in a million years that I was going to get this part. And I thought, oh, goodness, they've got the wrong girl. What am I doing here? And I saw John across the room. And before they called us out to go in an audition, I met another actor whose name escapes me right now. And we ran it. And then I looked over at John. And he and I read it together, hit it off. When he found out I was in Wicked, he and I just started having this great conversation. And we clicked immediately. So when we walked in and did the audition together, we just had this really good chemistry. And I knew ultimately John would probably get it. And he was the first person that I found out other than Crystal Fox that had it. And I was like, I've died and gone to heaven, And you know what? I adore John Schneider. He is an angel of a man. We are very close. And the more volatile we get on set, the closer we get off set. And it's just great. I mean, we'll do a big fight scene and then high-five each other going, wow, that was good. So it's good. Even after the slap, which you saw on the Tyler Perry show last week, even after we did the slap, he looked at me, and I'm like, I'm screaming, going, oh, my gosh, John, are you okay? And he's going, no, but that was brilliant, And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I didn't realize that was more improv than until I watched the Tyler Perry show.
It was totally improv. It was totally improv. And it was too bad because, I wish we could have kept it in. I really wish we could have. We'll have to. I think Katheryn's going to have to work in a slap somewhere again because that was just too fun.
That was too much fun, huh?
It was. Oh, it was amazing. Oh my goodness. And then the look on Hannah's face, and that was just
totally genuine.
Yes, very much so.
It was a totally Mr. Perry said when he said on the show, he said they gasped just as much as Crystal did,
Wow. I love hearing those little tidbits. So I'm actually curious. So during Katheryn's cancer fight, she sings a hymn with Hannah. Just from that little tidbit, I can tell you've got a beautiful voice. And, of course, I want to hear more.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
I'm sure all the other fans do, too. Is there anywhere online your fans can hear you sing or anything you might do in the future that can bring that part to us?
Well, I had a gospel CD that I did years ago, and it's not, it's just I sell it through my church. It's not out for public selling, but I was going to send it to a couple of radio people that have asked me to do radios, and they just want me to put their CD. And it's just a live sampler of some things that I had done when I sang in my church. And I've been meaning to put MP3s on my website, so just keep going to ReneeLawless.com, and maybe in the next, it's not going to happen before May. It might happen. I'll try to get it done by April, but I'm going to try to get some MP3s up so people can hear me. And I'm not singing any this season. We'll see what he does. I can sit there and give you all a little tidbit really quick. I can, in continuation of because they taught me that song 5 minutes before we started shooting. I didn't know the song.
Oh my God!
And Crystal is trying to teach me, and I'm sitting here going, "There's a leak in this old building, in my soul that's gotta move, my soul that's gotta move, my soul that's gotta move. There's a leak in this old building, in my soul that's gotta move, a building that's made by hand." So I know I want to do this song somewhere on the recording.
That is so beautiful. I wish I had that clapping machine thing on my show. Thank you for doing that. Oh my God,
that was my pleasure. It's a pleasure. But you can always. I tell you. I sing in church. I sing in my home church a lot, and like I said, maybe I should get on the horn and get some things uploaded to do some live performances. But yeah.
We definitely love to see that.
I think if you Google Wicked sometimes, but I don't think it would Google my name and then Wicked. Sometimes somebody's put a pirated tape or recording or something online, but I can't speak to that. I totally can't speak to that right now. So,
well, you can pretty much find anything on YouTube these days, so we'll have to Google that and YouTube it and see what we come up with.
Exactly. Right. Or maybe Mr. Perry will have. Problem is, Hannah doesn't really have any. Katheryn doesn't really have anything to sing about these days. So maybe next season she'll be in a scenario where Hannah asks her to sing something. I don't know. Even if it's the song I just did again, people bring it back to square one. We'll see. So
exactly. Well, now that all your dreams have come true and being on TV and in such a successful series, what are you interested in doing next?
More. I want to do more. I would love to be, I hope that our show lasts for a while and enable me to do maybe some mini-series, but also a couple of films. I would very much like to, get more into film making. But I still love television, and I like that I'm on this great hit show, and I hope we run for a while and then maybe get involved with some other shows in the future. But, I'm very happy where I am, and I have big dreams for other things, and I've got some irons in the fire, and hopefully in a while I can tell you what they are.
Okay. Please keep us notified on what you have going on, because we embrace whatever you do.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I want to rule the world. I'm teasing. Joking, kidding.
Well, Sabina has one last question for you, because we don't want to keep you too long. We want you to enjoy your party.
No problem.
Yes, definitely, because we do appreciate you taking the time out of that awesome event to talk with us. And
no problem.
I'm definitely looking forward to whatever you have coming up, and I will follow wherever you go. And I'm also hoping for the Haves and Have-Nots to stay on for a long time, because I'm so addicted to that show right now. But I was curious, because I noticed that you won. Congratulations on the winning of the 2002 Cowgirl Hall of Fame Patsy Cline Look-alike contest. I did not realize this, but I saw the pictures, and you definitely look like her.
Thank you. It was a singing and look-alike. I had to sing like her and dress like her, the whole thing. Yes.
Oh, awesome. And now I imagine there's nothing out there, no video of that anywhere.
Right.
Darn. I would have loved to have seen that or heard that. So can you tell us a little bit more about how it came about?
Well, what happened, I had just done, prior to getting Beauty and the Beast, I did Always Patsy Cline in Pennsylvania. And I met the gentleman who wrote the unauthorized autobiography of Patsy Cline, and he had a couple of new Patsy Cline shows he was trying to get up. And there's this a restaurant in New York called the Cowgirl Hall of Fame, and they had this contest every single St. Patrick's Day. And I didn't think I had a chance, and I didn't think anything of it. And so I put on my wig and my dress and got all dressed up, and I grabbed my boyfriend at the time, and we got on the subway and went down there, and I sang a few songs. I had a lot of famous actors that was judging. And then when they said I won, I thought, oh, that's great. I get this, title. And next thing I know, I get this massive basket of goodies and prizes and gifts and dinners. And I thought, this is the greatest thing I've ever done in my life. And it's really, and I get asked about it all the way. It's on my resume. I get asked about it all the time. People ask me to sing like her all the time. I get it. It's one of the big things that people ask me in auditions, actually.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well,
that's how it all happened. It was literally just,
singer.
am I going to do this? And I jumped on the subway, with a wig, and I looked just like her. And next thing I knew, I won, and I went back every single year to honor it on her birthday and everything.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's wonderful.
I would love to hear that.
What a wonderful tribute to a great singer.
Oh, yes, she was. She was right. She was born in September. The day she actually died on I always remember her the day she died, because she died on my best friend's birthday, actually, long before my best friend was like 3 years old at the time. But she died March 5th, 1963. And tragically, and taken way too soon. And she had an amazing life. If you ever have a chance to read her book, she had an incredible life, and I admire her greatly, and I did a lot of research on her. And so the fact that I got the honor of being named, in her honor for winning this contest made me feel really good. So,
I'm sure it did. Wow. Well, I want to thank you so very, very much for joining us today and taking time out of your busy schedule, and we would welcome you back at any time.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you for having me, and I'd love to come back and shoot the breeze and talk and sing again.
Yes, that was wonderful.
Even better.
And I'll sing a different song this time. I don't know. I'll come up with something. I'll be more prepared.
Well, Well, you can always do the little Patsy Cline, you know. You never know.
Well, I'm crazy.
Right.
I'm crazy for feeling so lonely. There, that's all you get for today.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you so much, Renee. It was wonderful chatting with you, and thank you again for doing our show when you have this big thing you're doing. So go enjoy that, and definitely I look forward to seeing the pictures.
Oh, thank you so much, and thank you, ladies, for letting me be a part of your evening. Oh, I'm on the West Coast. It's afternoon for me. It's evening for you guys. Okay. Have a lovely evening. Thank you. It's been a pleasure. Okay.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
You
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Oh, my gosh. I had no idea that she was going to call from a big event like that. I mean, how awesome is that she took 30 minutes out of her time to talk to us?
I know. That was wonderful. I simply adore that woman now. She's amazing and talented and super sweet. So, yeah, that's some wonderful information, and hopefully next time we'll get even more because I definitely look forward to having her back.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And for our listeners, if you're not following Renee on Twitter, be sure to follow her at Ms. MS, Renee, RENEE Lawless, and check out her website, ReneeLawless.com. There's not a ton of stuff on there yet, but I know she's working on it, or I'm sure, she has people working on that for her, but absolutely adore her. Does she have a Facebook page, Sabina?
Yes, she does. Give me 1 second. Let's see. She does have a fan Facebook page.
Yeah.
So let me look that up.
Okay, while you're looking that up, also for the listeners, follow us on Twitter at Take2Radio with the number 2. Also follow Sabina and my other co-host David at Take2 Radio Crew. Check out my website at take2radio.com for upcoming guests, previous podcasts, and more. And also follow us on Blog Talk. They'll send you an email each and every time we have a guest scheduled.
Yeah.
Did you find
her? Yeah, it's just, you just type in Renee Lawless, and it's Renee. You can just type in Renee Lawless, and it'll come up under, fan pages or whatever. So.
Okay.
She's
cool.
definitely got one.
Well, thanks for joining me today, Sabina, and thanks for reaching out to Renee for her to be on the show. And
you're welcome.
We'll be hooking up again soon when we have another guest. I am working on quite a few of them and waiting for confirmation. So, just for our listeners, be sure to either look at our Facebook page or Twitter or website to see who's coming next. And thanks, everybody, for joining us today. A big thank you to Renee for joining us, and we'll see you again soon. Have a great weekend. Goodbye, everybody, and God bless. Thanks, Sabine.
Bye.
Aw.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Bye.